Hey YouTube, so I'm trying to really suddenly vlog. This is my festive favourites. Okay, so number one is music, because the first thing I usually think of when it's Christmas is Christmas music and what artists are doing for Christmas, and like just as soon as you bring out all those Christmas songs, all those feels come back, and it's all just you get that feeling of being like 12 or maybe even younger again, and when Christmas was really exciting and when you used to literally count down the days and that countdown would like be unbearable, which is funny because Lion. So yeah, it's also an exciting time for un-Christmassy music because Q4 is like the last 2 months in the year, and it's usually when all the big names and big artists and big labels put out their music, so you hear a lot of really cool stuff that you end up listening to for the next year. I get really sad though because you can only listen to Christmas music, or it's only kosher to listen to Christmas music 1 month a year. It ends up randomly shuffling on my iPod anyway, and I end up just listening to it in the middle of June, so you know, Christmas music, yeah. The next thing is sweets, because it's the only time of year where it's just acceptable that you spend the whole day like on a massive sugar high. Everywhere now in their Christmas aisle, it's just overloaded with like sweets and junk food, and like in particular the festive stuff and giant-sized versions of things, and like big boxes of jelly babies and fruit pastels and that kind of thing. Third thing, hot chocolate. I'm actually quite fussy with hot chocolates, but like the absolute best is like peppermint or orange hot chocolates that you can like get from Costa or Starbucks, and they're so good. And for me, that is like how I would spend every single autumn and winter day would be. Number 4, winter walks. I love like walking in a forest, or like a National Trust thing, or just having a nice walk with your family or your friends or whoever, and just being all wrapped up in all that wintry clothing. So you might be freezing cold, but the fact that you're going on a walk and it's like crisp and dry, and I don't know, there's something about winter walks that just, they feel so good, and it makes you appreciate the fact that you're wearing all this stuff. Baths are amazing in winter because you're not really warm usually, and you come in from a winter walk or work or something and you get in the bath and you just forget that you're even a person. You just kind of melt away into the water and it just feels so good. And 6, Christmas trees. They're green. They're still green in the winter, which is pretty cool. I remember when we were at uni, we were doing about like postmodernism and this kind of stuff, and this idea of like dressing something up so that it's actually not real anymore, and that the things we do in life like give something a hyper extension of what they normally are. And a Christmas tree was like the prime example I used, and I can't like get my head now over the fact that a Christmas tree is a template. Like, you cut the tree to be exactly the right shape, and then you hang decorations on it at specific points, and you wrap around it. It's something that you'd never find like however many years ago. It's just like a completely insane construct. Films. Okay, so it's usually been a tradition of mine to like sit down with people and watch Christmas films the whole day pretty much, and you kind of get those films like the Rudolph movie for me that is a complete like must at Christmas time, even though I've far grown out of the film. Whoopi Goldberg's still amazing in it. And musicals, I think it's the time when you would sit down and watch a really feel good or old musical, which I'm hoping that I will get the other side of DeepFizzyPurple into at some point because they're friggin' awesome. Christmas lights. Now I'm talking about in particular like the ones in London. It's amazing. If you go there, you like everything is decked out in like Christmas lights, and like they hang stuff between the streets in like Oxford Circus and Regent Street, and like this year they even had Eros in like a snow globe, a massive big snow globe. And I don't think like for Britain there's anything bigger in the country light wise, and you just walking around you get this like whole festive spirit. And like London is one of those towns that I think is always moving, like there's always something interesting going on and they're always talking about something. Like the last time I was there was this Darth Vader guy who was like dressed, you know how they do these statues, there was this Darth Vader one, and people were shaking hands with him, and there was me thinking, hang on, you're obviously not a Star Wars fan because you wouldn't shake hands with Darth Vader, would you? Christmas markets. Okay, now I used to live in Germany for a few years, and during that time and a few years afterwards we went back there. We basically went to all the German Christmas markets and a few Dutch ones, and they're just so amazing. And actually they're a lot bigger than the ones we have here, but like I don't know, I guess you again go for the atmosphere and for the mulled wine and for like just that there's like a distinctive smell and a distinctive like warmth that you get from them, and I don't think you really get that from any other time of year. I think it's like an exclusive club to the seasons that are cold. And yeah, games. Again, it's really the only time of year where everybody sort of just stops to be able to play a game, or like, because I have a few board games and I'd like to say that I get them out, but I don't get them out as much as I'd like to. But yeah, I love like party games and like Wii games and, you know, things like Monopoly, just because like they're such a social thing, and like it's awesome to be able to sit around the TV or sit around your coffee table for like a couple of hours and just play a game, because when else do you get to do that in like 2013? Making new traditions. Now this is one I really wanted to put on here because I feel like this year in particular I'm making a new tradition. I'm making new traditions with you guys right now. Like I'm doing a Vlogmas thing, which I'm hoping I can repeat year after year after year, and like get you guys all involved and get everybody all Christmassy. And yeah, I like tradition. Tradition is good, but I think you also need new traditions. Like this year, I won't be with my family sadly, but I do have plans, and I think it will be interesting to spend Christmas in a different way. And it's really interesting to find out what everybody does as a family and what you do when you leave, because things change. They're going to. So yeah. My last one is sadly food. Now I put down here crepes because crepes are one of my all-time favourite like foods that remind me of Christmas, but really you can have a crepe anytime, and I don't know, I just feel like a pancake isn't really that Christmassy, so I'm gonna go with like food because you can literally just pig out on everything and it's awesome. And if you're like me, I'm a bit of a snacker, so instead of like eating everything, I'll just like pick a few bits here, pick a few bits there, and like get this massive plate of like all different kinds of like Pringles and things, and all those like exciting. I remember as a kid, like, used to buy like a few bottles of Coke and a few bottles of Fanta and a few bottles of lemonade for when people were coming around, and used to have like buy these cheese savoury things, and you'd buy like tubs of Pringles, and like you'd see all this food coming in and you'd be like, I'm in love with the packaging or the food. And for me it was just like one of the most exciting things, because you knew Christmas was coming when your parents walked through the room with like these big bags and they had loads of stuff in, and Dad would like stockpile the cupboards full of like food, and I think that's really exciting. And I think all of those things really just get you in the mood for like spending a night by the fire and just chilling and vegetating, which is one of the best things in the world to do when you have the time. So yeah, that is my festivity vlog. It's kind of a little less high profile than Josie's, but we haven't exactly decorated because, like I say, my family won't be here, so I can't find and show you all the Christmas trees and all that kind of stuff. But when I do, I will most certainly vlog about it. I will see you guys later, and I hope you have a really, really cool day, whatever you're doing. Let me know some of your Christmas traditions, because we have a Twitter account and you can tweet us at DeepFizzyPurple with capital letters on the front, and use the hashtag Vlogmas. Why not get in on the conversation now and beat everyone else to it? Bye! I will see you in this lion onesie later.